DAIC's webinar series.
Thank you for having me.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
the opportunity.
You're welcome. And we're very pleased that you're here. We see that there are opportunities for businesses to be able to give more value to the employees and to ensure that employees can have a better experience, even being an employee and being able to create more value for the business, the direct benefits of this. So we're really happy that you're here to share with us this morning. Before we continue, we want to do a few housekeeping matters. We'd want to ensure that our attendees get to pause. I think I would have to mute a few of our attendees whose volume may be up. But when it's time for you to make any special statement or you'd like to say something, you'd be able to raise your hand. There's a button that says raise hand. You could see it close to above your screen, and then we'll be able to let you give any comments as necessary. So as we're going through, I've introduced Mr. Hilaire. He will give a presentation, and after his presentation, we'll be able to take questions. So if you have any questions while it is going on, we invite you to write it down in the comment section, and then we will be presented for answering later. So before we give way to Mr. Hillier, I also want to say thank you to Caribbean Export for facilitating us through this platform to ensure that we could have this go-to-meeting platform for webinar series. So thank you, Caribbean Export, for partnering with us in this venture. And at this time, Mr. Hillier, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And thank you, DAIC. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. To you, your families, and your companies. I wish you the best for 2019. So I am here today to speak on the topic of why employee benefits. And sometimes we may want to think of putting employee benefits in place as an additional expense on the company. However, there's an old saying which goes, to make money, you have to spend money. And what I hope to achieve today is to show us that in putting employee benefits in place for our people, we are actually making an investment in the company and an investment in the lives of the people who work for us. And it really works towards building up our company's brand and our company's profitability, which I will explain going forward. In doing, we'll cover different topics. As you can see on the content, I will introduce myself to you. I will give you an overview of Sagicor, give you some research to consider, and focus on one aspect of employee benefits, because employee benefits is really a broad aspect of what we offer, and there are different product lines that can fall under that category. And I'm going to show you the benefits of having employee benefits in place for you as an employer, also for your employees, or if we have employees on this call, also for you as employees. Give you more research to consider, and I'm going to speak briefly about some of the experience that I've had with group health insurance. Now, I am Brenton Hilaire, Agency Manager for Sagicor Life in Dominica, and I've been in the business for about 9 years now. 3 years in sales management, 6 years in administration. So when I speak to you today, I speak to you with the knowledge and experience from both the back end of the operation and the front end of the operation. And Sagicor, our vision is to be a great company committed to improving the lives of the people in the communities that we operate in. And we have been doing so for 178 years. Yes, we are a very old and wise company. And the word Sagicor actually means wise judgment, which reflects the sort of financial advice and services that we provide to our clients. Now, as a company, we offer a wide range of products and services, from the individual lines such as health, life, annuities, and also from the group aspect as group pension plans, group health insurance, group life insurance. And we at Sagicor pride ourselves on having long-term relationships with our employees. the communities, and our customers. If I speak about our staff, for example, we have people who have been with us for 30 years, after that 25 years, 20 years. So you can see that it's all about a long-term relationship. And recently we celebrated a client of ours who has been with us for 60 years. So we are here for the long run, which speaks to our long history in the Caribbean. And one thing I would like to emphasize on is that we are rated A- by AM Best. What does that mean? It is an international organization that looks at the financial strength of financial institutions. So we go past the local requirements and we subject ourselves to the high standards of operation. And we are one of the few Caribbean companies that have expanded into the international world, where right now we have offices in the United States, we have in Belize, in Panama, the Cayman Islands, just to name a few. So we currently operate in 22 countries with 3,000 employees and over 750,000 clients. Now, as we enter into the topic of today, in 2016, there's a report released by PAHO, the WHO, and UE, which identified that mortality in the Caribbean from NCDs is the highest in the Americas. It further identified that heart attacks, stroke, cancers cause most premature deaths, also followed by diabetes. Except for Haiti, NCDs cause 65% to 80% of all deaths within the Caribbean. And we hear it in our local markets by our stakeholders in the health industry that the rise of NCDs in Dominica is alarming. So it's something that we need to consider for our employees and ourselves when we are looking forward. And it does affect the bottom line of any company because it could be one of our employees who suffer from these NCDs. So the question is, what can we as a company put in place to assist our employees in the event that they are facing one of these challenges? And this is why we are going to focus on group health insurance as an employee benefit. Now, group health insurance is basically a health insurance plan that provides coverage through members of a group, whether it's members, employees of a company, or members of an association. The key thing here is that it must be an already established association, but not one just formed for the purpose of getting insurance. So for example, the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association is an association that could qualify for employee benefits. But it could not be just a group of friends coming together and giving their group a name just to say that, hey, we want group health insurance for ourselves. And one of the things that stands out for group health insurance is the fact that as a member of a group plan, premiums or the cost of it to you is going to be reduced per person. And the reason being that the risk is spread for the insurance company. And giving you some rough figures, let's say you have 10 people in a company, more likely than not, you will have 9 persons in that group who are extremely healthy. And as a result, the risk to us as an insurance company is reduced. So we are able to offer rates that are quote unquote more affordable for members of that plan. Now, let's speak about the benefits. So as an employer, why would you want to consider putting into place a group health insurance plan? You might say, man, it's going to be additional expenses on my bottom line. But as I mentioned earlier, with the old saying, you have to spend money to make money. It's really an investment into your company and into your employees. And the first benefit to any institution that wants to put in place a group health insurance plan is that you are going to protect the investment in your employees. Because I know many of our institutions engage in seeking training opportunities for the staff. We put them through different programs so that they become more efficient. We show them the ropes, we teach them the process. All of that is a cost. Now, think of a situation where you have just sent someone overseas for training and it took a lot of money from your institution's finances to do so. They return back to the job. A few months later, they fall sick. If a group health insurance plan is not in place, or if that individual did not have medical coverage on their own life, that person would be in a position of maybe being unable to get the treatment needed so that they can get back to being productive. If it was your investment, that means you have to start thinking about getting someone else and putting them through the same sort of training that you would have engaged in previously. That is double expense on the company's part. So as a company, having such a benefit in place actually protects your bottom line when it comes to the human asset, human resources. Then the second benefit, maintaining productivity. I have heard stories where persons without medical coverage, they have some sort of procedure to do, but they delay it because of financial reasons. They would like to do it, but it's just that they do not have the avenue to do it at the moment. So maybe they have to save up some time. Now, what would happen is that this person would show up to work because they are dedicated. They will put in their best to give their company some productive time, but at no fault of theirs, it is going to be reduced to an extent because of what they're dealing with. Could be a pain in the leg. It could be migraines that affect their ability to focus. And because of the absence of such a provision, it's going to reduce the productivity level. Whereas if such a benefit was in place, such as group health insurance, that person would be able to get treatment at an earlier stage, maintaining the level of productivity that you would expect from them in the long term. And that filters down to the bottom line of the company. Increase productivity, increase efficiency, reduce expenses, is better for the company. The third benefit to an employer, it is going to improve your brand, and that's without a doubt. I have met several persons who speak highly of the company just because of the fact that they have put certain benefits in place for them. And that is a form of free marketing for your company, because hearing stories like that, if I was unemployed, I would look for employment in that institution first. And this ties into number 4. We as employers, we want to get the best. We want to get people that can take our company to the next level. Now, when you identify people like that, there is going to be competition for their services. That's a fact. And the question is, what can you offer the person to get them to come on board with your company rather than going on board with another company? So having benefits in place, for example, group health insurance can be the deciding factor for some people. And I can give you a personal story here. Last 2 years, when I was actively seeking persons to join our team, I met this young lady and she was very talented, and I was impressed with her, and I said that this is somebody that I want on my team. Now, I have been speaking to her for some time, and she was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And there was one particular meeting I can never forget. I told her that we offer group health insurance, and because our group is such a large group, she and her dependent, which is her son, could come on without any medical questions being asked. Now, when she heard that, it was like the icing on the cake for her. She told me, I am sold, let us get ready, let's start this. So it can be a benefit to your company in terms of attracting talent. And naturally, once you have attracted that talent to your company, it's going to help you to keep them. None of us want to go through the expense of training someone to have them leave the company and go somewhere else. And a lot of times people do that just because of the benefits offered. So with an employee benefit or group health insurance as a form of employee benefits, it helps to keep the competition away, because most people do not want to leave what they cannot see for what they can see. And number 6, It can help you protect the investment in your own company. And this particularly pertains to persons who are self-employed, persons who have family businesses, because what can happen is that if you are self-employed and you do not have any form of cover in place, or if you run a family business and one of the members of your family falls sick without a group health insurance in plan, without health insurance in place, the company's profits most likely will be used to try and help the person out. It's not that it's been done on purpose, but it's a matter of trying to help the individual out. So with a plan like that in place, in the event that something happens, you know that whatever the business generated is the business's own, and the risks that apply are taken care of. Now, there are also benefits for the employees directly. One of the biggest benefits for an employee is the ability to obtain coverage without any evidence of insurability. This applies to large groups. If you have 14 members or more on our plan, you're able to enroll within 30 days of appointment without answering any medical questions. So persons who may have been declined previously for health insurance now stand an opportunity to obtain health insurance. And now picture the ability and effect that can have on the mind of anyone. That person will be forever grateful to your institution. And that is someone you know that will give their all to your company. The second benefit to an employee, which is what I mentioned earlier, the risk of the cost of being on a group plan is going to be significantly lower than being on an individual plan. And it's all because of the pool of people being on one plan, which is sharing the overall risk. And in some cases, that cost is further reduced because we do have great companies out there who are willing to contribute towards the cost of being on the plan. Whether it's an 80-20 ratio, a 50-50 ratio is really up to the company. And the fourth benefit to an employee is that the deductible is lower. So with a group plan, your deductible could be as low as $250. On an individual plan, it could be from $500 to $2,000. So it really benefits the employee to jump on to a group health insurance plan. Now, research to consider. In the USA, a survey was conducted by MetLife, and it said that 4 over 5 companies said their priority or the reason for having group health insurance was really to retain the employees, because they recognize that there is a need to keep your talent after you have invested in them, so they ensure that they had such a measure in place. Also, in 2009, during President Obama's State of the Union address, he said that a medical bankruptcy occurred every 30 seconds. That is 1 million bankruptcies in a year because of medical reasons. So in the same way, we may not have the statistics in the Caribbean, but I do know that we have situations where employees or owners or family members of companies are affected by medical expenses, and the company finds itself trying to assist. So in order to protect us from these avenues, this is where such a measure could assist your company and help you with your bottom line. Because unlike other causes of death, medical bills are often unexpected, they're often involuntary, and they're often large. So I mentioned that we share some experiences with you. I can speak of someone that I knew or know who is 30 years of age with a company, under 30, went on vacation, was involved in a car crash. Her medical bills came up to 250,000 EC. Now, because of having this provision in place, she was able to recover, return to work, and continue being productive to the company. I can tell you another story of a person who is above 70, who has actually reached $1 million in medical expenses, but this person is quite productive right now because this measure was in place. And our medical plans do offer the option for you to stay on past retirement. And when it comes to emergencies, we have facilitated emergency airlifts on weekends, on public holidays, so we do our best to ensure that your people are in the best of condition and in the best of care. So I would like to go back to the first step and remind us that putting in place a group health insurance plan as an employee benefit should not be seen as a cost or an additional expense, but it should really be seen as a step to make our business more competitive so that we can attract the highest level of talents, so that we can ensure that our employees are as productive as possible, so that we can ensure that people speak highly about our company, our employees praise our company and speak proudly of us, and to ensure that we are as profitable as possible, and whatever training that we have extended to our staff is safeguarded in that they can stay on our workforce. This is just one aspect of what we offer, as I mentioned earlier. If you need any further information on our employee benefits, I am available on all of these handles. Feel free to reach out to us. And I would like to just end by saying that we cannot predict the direction that we're going to in life. But by taking proactive measures now, by putting such measures in place for our staff, we can ensure that in the future, when there is a need for this level of assistance, it is accessible. And at Sagicor, with our 178 years of existence, we will be there to work with you every step of the way. This is a promise and a commitment that we have lived up to in the past, and we aim to continue living up to it in the future. Now, I know we have limited time, so I'm going to open up the floor to any questions right now.
Thank you, Brenton. Thank you for introducing us to why employee benefits. So if you have any questions, you could raise your hand and we'll acknowledge you to make your question known to us. I see we have two of our contacts whose mics are muted. So if you would like to go ahead, that would be great. So, Brenton, while we're waiting for questions, I want to understand how can one go ahead and start a group? What's the minimum number we need for a group? Is two a group? Is five a group? Can you give us a little bit more information on that?
In order for you to put into play a group health insurance plan with us, the minimum that we accept is 5, and from 5, we would consider you as a small group. And then from 13, we consider you as a large group. And at 13 is what I mentioned, that you will not necessarily have to answer any medical questions if you enroll into the plan within the window that we afford you, which is usually 30 days from being appointed, or if you enroll from inception of the formation of that group plan.
Okay, great. That's really good. So I think this could also even be a possible opportunity for DAIC as an association, because you did mention associations would be able to join as a group for this group benefit. So thank you for that.
Yes, once the association is registered legally, then we can consider it. We just have a few guidelines pertaining to associations.
Okay.
Well, if you speak to us on a one-on-one, we can go through the process with you.
Definitely. Definitely. Would there be any other questions? From the representation here, I see that some are from small companies and some are from larger companies. Um, if you would not want to ask any question now, Brenton did mention that we could reach him on his different handles. Brenton, would you be able to bring it up again? The handles that you have in this slide before. So it would be Brenton _ Hilaire at sagicor.com or 615-7914. Also 615, well, for both of them on WhatsApp or via call, 615-7914. Also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Great. So, Brenton, we'd really like to thank you. We thank you so much for sharing with us on why employee benefits. Our businesses got to understand what the importance would be for them to have employee benefits, because we saw that It would help to lower the cost for an individual employee as opposed to having to sign up by themselves, but also to boost employee morale. Because if employees have benefits in the place of employment, most likely or oftentimes their morale and the way how they represent the organization is of even greater value or even greater benefit. So we really want to encourage our businesses of DAIC, and also everyone here who's logged onto this call to ensure that you understand how this fits your organization. It would not be a one size fit all for everyone, but there may be definite benefit for your company to have employee benefits to ensure that your employees are protected, your employees increase their morale, and overall to ensure protection and cost saving for your employees. So, Brenton, do you have any last words that you would like to share with our attendees on this webinar today?
I want to mention a point that
Yes, you could go again.
you touched on a point that one size may not fit all, and I'm happy that you mentioned that, because for our large groups, we are able to tailor the plan to suit the needs of the group. So what one company might want, which really works to their benefits, can be changed to suit another company who is seeking a set of different sort of benefits for the staff.
Okay.
And as I mentioned earlier, I just want to end on the point that we have to see group health insurance as an investment in our company, because the worst thing that any of us can incur is losing a senior member of staff or an experienced member of staff, a very knowledgeable member of staff, to any sort of medical condition, all because we did not have a provision in place for them.
Okay.
Having such a plan will protect our investments in our people and will ensure that they can come back to our company and be productive in the shortest space of time possible.
Great. Great. So thank you for this last word of encouragement. And our webinar will be ending shortly as it's 3 o'clock. So thank you everyone for joining DAIC's first webinar for 2019, but second episode in our webinar series. We're also thankful to Caribbean Export for making this possible. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will keep in touch with you for our the third episode of DAIC's webinar series. Thank you, Brenton, for sharing with us today. And without you, this information would not be available right now to our attendees. So thank you, Team Sagicor, for supporting Brenton in ensuring that this is possible. Have a great day, everyone, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.